Good morning everyone, happy Easter Monday. Today's class is going to be a bit of a slow flow class focusing on ideas of new life, renewal, revival, all the things that Easter brings. Okay, so again, just as a reminder, I won't be liable for anything that you do because this is an online practice. So at home, just make sure that you really listen to your body. Anything that doesn't feel right, very gently ease out of the practice. Also, if you've been given guidance by your doctor not to practice yoga, then obviously do not practice. Other than that, just enjoy the class. This practice is about you, it's not competitive. So just do what feels right, and yeah, just remember that yoga is the journey, not the destination. Okay, so let's all just begin in Sukhasanas, easy seated pose. You can have your legs crossed. You may want to sit on a block if that's more comfortable for you, rolling your shoulders back and down, and you may wish to place your palms on your knees. Alternatively, you can have your palms on top of one another just below your navel, and if it's comfortable to do so, just gently close your eyes. Or you may just wish to take a gentle sort of light gaze as well, whatever feels right for you. And just begin by arriving in the space, leaving any worries, concerns, plans, lists at the door for this hour, and you can come back to those things at the end of the session. And just begin by bringing your awareness now to the external sensations that are going on outside of your body, so things like sounds, smells and temperature. And just begin by observing how you interact with those, how they make you feel. And then bring your awareness now to your body. And how does your body feel today? Maybe it's feeling relatively calm and relaxed. Maybe it's feeling a bit anxious, a bit tender. And however it's feeling, that is absolutely fine. We feel different every day. Just know that and be aware that today's practice may be affected by how you're feeling, but that's okay too. It's just about becoming aware of that. So just take a moment to scan from your head all the way down to your feet and back up again, just observing for any tension in the body. And any tension that you do come upon, just know that today's practice will help to ease out that tension through pranayama, breath work, through the asanas, the postures, and the relaxation meditation at the end of the session. Now, if you bring your awareness now to your breath, the rhythm and the quality, just observing it here and now. And if your thoughts are starting to wander, just come back to observing that natural rhythmic breathing. And you may also like to imagine that your thoughts are like clouds in a deep blue sky, let the thoughts float away. Or you may wish to imagine that your thoughts are like waves in an ocean, and just let that wave come and let the wave go. The wave comes, it washes over you, and then it moves on. So generally with thoughts as well, the more we try and hold on to those thoughts, the harder they are to sort of leave the brain, the mindset. And the more you push away the thoughts, the more you avert those thoughts as well, the longer they'll stay in place. So sometimes it's just about letting go of trying to control those thoughts, just watching them, observing them as a witness, and knowing that they're not you, you are not your thoughts, and then they will float away as well. So as you are becoming aware of your quality and rhythm of your breath, I'd like you to notice where You notice your breath. Do you see it in the nose, in the throat, in the chest, or in the belly? And wherever you notice it, that is absolutely fine. Just take your awareness to that point. As you begin to inhale and exhale more and more, noticing it, the breath becomes deeper and smoother. So on your first couple of inhalations now, bring the shoulders towards the ears, inhale. Then exhale, release the shoulders. Inhale through the nose, raise the shoulders. Exhale, release the shoulders. One more time, inhale, raise the shoulders. Exhale, release the shoulders. And then I'd like you to bring your awareness now to your belly breath. So as you inhale through the nose, notice the belly move out, the lower back contracts. And as you exhale, the belly draws in and the lower back relaxes. So try to keep your spine relatively straight as well if you can. And don't force the movements either. So just for a few moments, just watch the inhalations with the belly moving out and the exhalations with the belly drawing in. You can almost imagine that you've got like a Buddha belly when you're breathing in. And then as you breathe out, the belly draws in. And the Buddha belly, I would say you could compare that to the laughing Buddha, so he was quite a big bloke. So as we notice the movement of the breath with the belly, it really does bring us to the here and now, the present moment. And with that present moment, we find stillness and peace. And again, if your thoughts are starting to wander, just come back to observing that belly breath. Now I'd like you all to set an intention for your practice. So as the theme is Easter, and Easter sort of represents rebirth, revival, renewal, why don't you try and set something, a goal, or just something that you'd like to sort of work on or achieve. And then repeat that in your mind's eye 3 times. And when you're ready, then gently open your eyes. And we're going to begin by moving into some warm-ups for our practice. Okay, so let's all begin in child's pose. So in child's pose, our buttocks is on our heels. You can either have a wide-legged child's pose or you can have your knees together, and begin by exhaling, folding forward, drawing the navel in towards the spine. You can have your arms out at your sides to begin with. So as we ease into the pose, you notice a gentle stretch in the spine and the lower back. So ultimately this is a calming pose, relaxes the nervous system. And then bring your arms out in front of you, really straighten the arms, feeling that stretch now in the upper arms, around the shoulder area. And you're going to feel that actually in your torso as well, in the side body, the obliques,
Breathing in and out through the nose. And then bring your weight over to your left knee. Really stretching out through the right arm, stretching out through the left. So your torso is over your left knee now. And as you really stretch out through that right arm, you'll notice a good stretch on the right hand side of the body. Gently come back to centre with your arms out in front of you. Forehead is still on the ground. Then switch over to the right, so bring your torso over the top of your right knee. Really stretching out through that left arm now, noticing the stretch on the left hand side of the body. Breathing in and out through the nose. Come back to centre. One more time over to the left. Really stretching out through that right hand side. Breathe. Back to centre. One more time over to the right. Really stretching out through the left hand side of the body now. And then back to centre. And then from here, I'd like you to shift your weight off your heels now. So I'd like your knees to be in line with your hips and your knees are at a distance apart. And stretch your arms out towards the front of the mat. And then bring your forehead to the mat. So we're moving into puppy pose. So in puppy pose we're adding sort of a stretch to the we're adding a stretch to the top of our back here. So we're working on our shoulder girdles, we're working on the trapezius muscle, on the deltoids, and the rhomboids as well. So we're sort of moving up one step now from child's pose. So breathing in and out through the nose. And if you find it quite difficult to be in this position, you can always place a block under your forehead if that helps as well. You can also just walk your arms in a bit as well if you find that it's too much of a strong stretch. Keep breathing. And then when you're ready, just gently walk your hands back in now into tabletop. So we're just sort of waking up the spine now as we've done in child's pose and puppy pose. And yeah, if you just want to give your wrists a little bit of a sort of a shake as well, so just oiling the joints as well. So when we first woken up in the morning or when we first start exercising, it's good to kind of loosen up a little bit before jumping straight in. Okay, and I'd like your hands to be shoulder distance apart, and I'd like your knees to be hip distance apart as well, and I'd like your knees to be directly below your hips and your hands directly below your shoulders. So just moving into a nice little cat-cow sequence. This is great to wake up the spine as well. So taking an inhalation, tilt the head back, stick that bottom out, moving into cow, dropping the belly, and then exhale, draw the navel in towards the spine, drop the crown of the head towards the ground, and you're really rounding the back now. Exhale. Then inhale, wave through, tilting the head back, dropping the belly, sticking that bottom out, inhale. Then exhale, rounding the back, dropping the crown of the head towards the ground, sorry. Exhale, inhale into cow. Exhale into cat. So again, inhale into cow, dropping the belly, tilting the head back. And exhale into cat, draw the navel towards the spine, round the shoulders, cat stretch. Exhale. But do a few more of those to yourself. Inhale on the cow, exhale on the cat. Inhale on the cow, exhale on the cat. One more time. And then back to centre. And then from here we're going to bring our hands towards the front of the mat now, at the top of the mat. So again, our hands are going to be shoulder distance apart. Really pressing your weight into the fingertips, really spreading the fingers And sort of imagine you've got a bit of suction going on between your palms and the mat. So moving into our first downward dog. And bringing your weight into your tippy toes. And as you bring your weight into your tippy toes, and now I'd like you to start lifting the knees off the ground. As you lift the knees off the ground, begin to exhale. And as you begin to exhale, then begin to push the hips and the thighs up and back. And I'd like your feet to be hip distance apart as well. Slightly turning the feet in, just ever so slightly. And really work on sort of pushing those hips up and back. Those buttocks up and back. Breathe. Try to keep the spine straight as on, and imagine you're pushing the mat away from your hands. So if you're noticing a bit of tension in your shoulders, see if you can widen the gap between your hands. So normally we have our hands shoulder distance apart, but if that is putting too much pressure on, see if you can bring your hands out even further. And then begin by pedaling the legs. And if you need to rest in child pose already, feel free to come down and do so. Otherwise, staying in downward dog. Taking an inhalation, raising the left leg up high, sweeping it or stepping it through in between the hands, dropping the right knee to the ground, coming into a low lunge. So when we come into low lunge, you're pushing those hips forwards and down. So you can have your right foot flat on the back of the mat, or you can be bringing your weights into your toes, which can help you with balance. So we've got our fingertips now in the mat. We're going to bring our torso up straight. So taking an inhalation, lifting the torso almost from the pelvis. So as you lift the torso, you're drawing your left hip back slightly. And then I'd like your knee, your left knee, and your left ankle to be in line as well. And just for a moment, just bring your hands onto your knee, look straight ahead. This is option 1. Option 2, bringing your hands to heart center. And then from here, for those of you that want a little bit more of a challenge, you can lift your right knee off the mat. So taking an inhalation and lift that right knee off the mat. And as you lift the right knee off the mat, you're pushing your heel back. So you're balancing basically on your front leg and your back. You're balancing on your front foot and your back foot. Otherwise, just drop that knee back down again if that's too strong. And from here, you're going to take an deep inhalation through the nose. And then exhale, twist over to the left and then hook your right elbow just to the left of your left knee. Breathe. Keep breathing and then exhale, come back to center, dropping that right knee to the ground if it's not there already. Then dropping your hands to the ground. You can be on your fingertips. And then bring your palms completely flat and then bring the left foot to meet the right foot back into downward dog. And again, you can begin by just pedaling those legs out. So it's first thing in the morning for me, so I do tend to be a bit stiffer first thing in the morning, so I do need to stretch out just a little bit more. But it's also working with how your body's feeling. If it is stiffer, that's fine too. You know, we all feel different every day. Taking an inhalation, raising that right leg up high, sweeping it or stepping it through in between the hands into a low lunge again, dropping the left knee to the ground now, pushing those hips forward and down, looking straight ahead, and the chest is open towards the front of the room. Okay, and then from here, taking an inhalation, raise the torso up, straighten the torso, and as you straighten the torso, you'll notice your right hip moves up slightly. Breathe. So in low lunge, we are really working on the hip flexors, and we're working on strengthening those legs as well. Just for a moment, bring your hands onto your right knee. Breathe. And then from here, take an inhalation, bring your hands to heart center. So you can, from here, we're going to move into a twist. But before we move into the twist, you've got the option to take your left knee off the ground. As you take that left knee off the ground, and it's hovering, you're pushing your left heel back down, almost towards the mat. Keep breathing.
And then from here, taking an exhalation, twist over to the right, twisting from the rib cage. Then hook your left elbow just to the right of your right knee. Keep moving. The palms are still together. Breathe. And then from here, exhale, come back to center. Drop your palms to the ground, dropping the left knee to the ground if it's not already there. And then from here, bringing your right foot to meet your left foot into downward dog. Again, just pedaling out the legs again. So again, in downward dog, you want to make sure you're pushing your hips up and back. And if you can't bring your heels to the ground, that is absolutely fine as well. You can just work on just bending your knees as well. And when you bend your knees, that actually helps to push those hips up and back as well. And it helps to straighten the spine too. And then from here, very slowly walk the feet in now towards your hands at the front of the mat. And as you get to your hands, just forward fold, bring a good bend in the knees. And very slowly, one vertebrae by vertebrae at a time. Come up, standing with the head the last to come up. Inhale as you come up, exhale, back to center. Now I'd like you to start in the starting stance of Tadasana, which is mountain pose. So make sure that your feet are 1 foot from the front of the mat. You can either have your feet together, or you can have your feet about 1 foot apart. Bring your arms to the side with your palms on your thighs, with your palms facing the front of the room. Take a moment to close your eyes. Just going to ground for a second. So when we're grounding, it means we're taking ourselves away from that mind thought process all the time. And then we try to become more embodied with the mind, the body. So basically we're connecting the mind, the body, and the soul in the present moment when we're grounding, opposed to when we're in our mind thought process all the time, we're just stuck in our heads. So as we're in Tadasana, I'd like you to bring your awareness now to the weight of your feet against the ground. And noticing the weight of the feet against the ground, you notice the Pada Bandha. So the Pada Bandha is the ground to foot sort of connection. And as you notice the ground to foot connection, you notice the energy shifting up your legs to your hips, gently tucking the tailbone in. And then notice that energy flowing up the body, your arms, and your head. And again, just reminding yourself of that intention you set at the start. What new things surrounding rebirth, renewal, come to mind that we can help take us forward in this world? And noticing the weight of your feet against the ground, is the weight evenly spread? Shifting the weight towards the front of the feet, the middle of the foot, the back of the foot, the middle of the foot, the front of the foot, the middle of the foot, the front, the back of the foot, back to center. And if you notice that the weight is more in the back of your feet, it might be because you've got your knees fully locked. So just bring a tiny little bend into those knees now. Now from here, take an inhalation, bringing your hands to heart center. Circle sweep the arms up, inhale, bring the arms overhead into a prayer. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Inhale, circle sweep the arms up into prayer. Exhale, bring them back to heart center. One more time, inhale, circle sweep the arms up, overhead into a prayer. Exhale, bring them to heart center. And from here we're going to move into our sun salutation. So now, making sure that tailbone is tucked in.
The two big toes are touching, but the heels are slightly apart. Hands to heart center, Pramanasana, taking an inhalation, raising the arms. Overhead into Hasta Uttanasana, then exhale, forward fold, head to knees into Padahastanasana. And you can bring a good bend to the knees as well, then taking an inhalation, step the left foot back, left knee to the ground, into low lunge, looking straight ahead, you're pushing those hips forward, the chest is open. And bringing the palms down, bring the right foot to meet the left foot into a, into plank pose. So in plank pose, we're making sure that the tailbone is tucked in, keeping the navel drawn in. Then from here, exhale, drop the knees to the ground or pressing down in one movement, keeping those elbows in, dropping the head to the ground. Pushing the tops of the feet flat into mat, taking an inhalation, raising the chest off the ground. Keeping those elbows bent, looking straight ahead. So this is full cobra, or you can just come to baby cobra. And exhale, drop the head towards the ground, pushing into the hands, lift the chest, the knees and the hips up and back, pushing those thighs towards the back of the room. Taking an inhalation, raising that right leg up high, sweeping it or stepping it through in between the hands, dropping the left knee to the ground into a low lunge, looking straight ahead. Then bring the left foot to meet the right foot into a forward fold, head to knees. Taking an inhalation, raising the arms. Exhale, bring the hands back to heart center into prayer Pramanasana. Inhale, raise the arms into Hasta Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold, head to knees into Padahastanasana. Take an inhalation, step the right foot back, right knee to the ground into a low lunge into Anjanasana. Bring the palms completely flat, then bring the left foot to meet the right foot into plank pose. Keeping that tailbone tucked in, imagine you're one long muscle. Keep the navel drawn in. Then exhale, either pressing down or dropping the knees to the ground, coming down in one movement. Bring the forehead down to the ground, keep those elbows tucked in. Engage the glutes, tuck the belly in, lift the chest off the ground into baby cobra or full cobra. In full cobra, try to keep a micro bend in the elbows. Exhale, lower the head back down, pushing into the hands, lifting the hips up and back, pushing those thighs towards the back of the room. Taking an inhalation, raising that left leg up high, sweeping it or stepping it through into low lunge, Anjanasana. So making sure you drop that right knee to the ground, looking straight ahead. Then bring the right foot to meet the left foot into a forward fold, head to knees into Padahastanasana. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center into Pramanasana. Let's just do a few more of those. Taking an inhalation, raising the arms. Exhale, forward fold, head to knees, bringing a good bend to the knees as well. It's not all about having super straight legs. It's about what feels right in the spine. You are getting a nice gentle stretch in the hamstrings anyway. So taking an inhalation, stepping the left foot back, left knee to the ground. Looking straight ahead into a low lunge, Anjanasana. So you're pushing your hips down and forwards. And you're sort of bringing, you can either have your back foot, top of the foot flat down, or your weight can be in the tippy toes. Then bring your right foot to meet the left foot into a plank pose. So as you move into plank from low lunge, keep that tailbone tucked in, draw that navel in, looking straight ahead as well. And then as you come down, exhale, either drop the knees to the ground and press down. All the way, exhale. Keeping those elbows tucked in, taking an inhalation, drawing the navel in towards the spine, lift the chest off the ground into either baby cobra or full cobra. Exhale, lower the head all the way down, pushing into the hands, lifting those hips up and back into a downward dog. Making sure that your feet are hip distance apart. Taking an inhalation, raising that right leg up high, sweeping or stepping it through in between the hands, dropping the left knee to the ground into a low lunge into Anjanasana. Looking looking straight ahead. Then bring the left foot to meet the right foot into a forward fold, head to knees. Good bend in the knees. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale into prayer. One more time, taking an inhalation, raising the arms. Overhead, so you're lifting up to your hands and the arms are in line with the ears. Exhale, begin to forward fold, head to knees. Inhale, step the right foot all the way back. Right knee to the ground into a low lunge. So the fingertips here. And press the palms down. Bring the left foot to meet the right foot into a plank pose. Tuck the tailbone in. Keeping that navel drawn in. Then exhale, lower all the way down, keeping those elbows tucked in. Taking an inhalation, engaging the glutes. Draw the navel in, lift the chest off the ground, looking straight ahead into cobra. Rolling those shoulders back, and that's either a full cobra or baby cobra. Exhale, lower the head down, pushing into the hands, lifting the hips up and back into a downward dog. And then from here, pushing the mat away from your hands, take an inhalation and lift that left leg up high, sweep it or step it through in between the hands, dropping the right knee to the ground into a low lunge, looking straight ahead. Then bring the right foot to meet the left foot into a forward fold, head to knees, keeping that navel drawn in. Then inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center, into prayer, pranayama. You can take a moment here to rest in Tadasana, mountain pose, where you've just got your arms by your sides, either with your palms on your thighs, palms facing forwards, or you can grab hold of opposite elbow, and we're going to hang in ragdoll, and you just take your feet hip distance apart, and then exhale, just gently fold forward, keeping that belly drawn in. Gentle bend in the knees and gently sway from side to side. And just in this moment, just observe the benefits of the sun salutation practice. So ultimately it's a very energizing practice. It gets the oxygen moving around the whole body. It's the energy moving around the whole body. It's a nice thing to do first thing in the morning. Good morning. Just observing what the mind is saying. Is it saying it enjoyed that, or did it say it was difficult? And if it's saying it was difficult, rather than focusing on how hard it was, just take a step back as the observer and just gently come back to observing the natural rhythm of your breath. Then very slowly, one vertebrae by vertebrae at a time, come up to standing. The head the last time come up, inhale to center. And if you need to gently roll your shoulders in any way that feels comfortable for you, feel free to do so. The opposite direction, and then come back to center. So from the front of your mat, making sure your feet are about 1 foot from the front of the mat and the feet are together. And then from here you're going to step your left foot back about 4 or 5 feet, keeping those heels aligned, but I'd like your right foot to be at 12 o'clock and your left foot to be at 9 o'clock. So from here we're moving into Trikonasana, triangle pose, keeping that tailbone tucked in. Just bring a tiny little micro bend now to your right leg, which is the front leg. Really activating both legs as well, so engaging the quads. And as you engage the quads, you're strengthening the muscles in the legs and really noticing the weight of your feet against the ground. So I'd like you to make sure that your weight is spread across the outer edges of the feet, including the ball at the back of your foot and the ball to the front of the feet. And your weight is really in the big toes and the little toes as well. Really grounding down.
noticing that Pada Bandha, the ground to foot connection. So from here, now that we've got our foundation, which is our base, rolling those shoulders back and down, the chest is open to the side of the room, taking an inhalation, raising the arms now with the palms facing the side of the room. Tiny little micro bend in that front leg. Then looking to the back hand and to the front arm, front hand, just to check they're both in line. Then really begin to reach forward now with that right arm. Really, really reach and exhale, reach forward, and either bring your hand onto your sort of your thigh, or just onto your calf, or onto the mat. But as you do that, I want you to roll that left shoulder back. And as you roll it back, inhale, raise the left arm now, so the left palm is facing the left-hand side of the room. Breathe, and you want to imagine now that your shoulders are pressed against a wall. So if you notice that you're sort of bent over quite a lot, you're sort of rounding, just come up a bit. So I'm quite tall, so I could just probably do with placing my hand on the calf, and then I've got the arm lifted. And you really want to feel a good stretch in the left-hand side of the torso now as well. And you can do that by sort of pulling yourself forward. Keep breathing. And so that's that stretch that you're going to feel in the left-hand side of the obliques here. You're going to feel that in the left-hand side of your back as well, all along the back, from the bottom to the top. Breathe. And inhale, come back up to center. Exhale, lower those arms. And then pivot round on the foot. So you're now bringing your right foot to, I guess your right foot now is at 3 o'clock and your left foot now is at 12 o'clock. So we're just repeating on the opposite side now. Keeping that tailbone tucked in. Drawing those shoulders back. So really want the chest to be open in Trikonasana. So you're getting pretty good full body stretch. You're getting a nice stretch in the hips, stretch in the legs, strengthen the legs, in the back, the arms, the chest. So taking an inhalation, raising those arms so they're in line with the shoulders. Then begin to exhale, really, really reaching forward with that left hand, keeping a tiny little micro bend in that left knee as well. And the reason we try and keep a micro bend is so that we're still actively working the muscles around the knee, opposed to going into full block where that kind of does the work for us. We want to work our muscles here. Really, really reach forward, then bring your left palm, your left hand either onto the calf, onto your thigh, or onto the ground. Then rolling that right shoulder back, really feeling the stretch in the right hand side of the body. Take an inhalation, raising that right arm there, so the palm is facing the side of the room. So you can have your gaze just to the right hand, the right side of the room, or you can have your gaze up to your hand, your right hand. But if that's causing too much strain in your neck, just turn your head back down. And if you're finding it really difficult having your arm up, you can just bring it onto your waist as well. Keep breathing, so you're going to be feeling a good stretch in the hips here, good stretch in the hamstring too. Breathe. And inhale, come up to center. Exhale, lower those arms. Then turn that left foot in now. So both your feet are turned in. Okay. And from here, we're going to move into Prasarita Padottanasana. So it's a wide-legged standing forward fold. But before we move into the forward fold, I'd like you to just bring a good bend into your knees now. And keep so bring a bend in one knee, straighten the one leg, and then bring a bend in the opposite knee, straighten the other leg. And what about if you lowered your arms down and you did that too? And you start swaying from side to side. And just sort of introduce some movements that feel right for you. And then come back to center, straightening those legs. Bringing your hands to your waist. And as you bring your hands to your waist,
Really like you to open your chest, rolling those shoulders back and down. Breathe. Just for a moment. Take an inhalation through the nose. Keep that navel tucked in, then exhale, begin to fold forward and then just come down halfway. Breathe, keep that navel tucked in, breathe. So you're going to be feeling a good stretch in the hamstrings here. You're going to feel it in the hips, the hip flexors. And really reminding yourself of the ground to foot connection again, so making sure that you're really pressing down into those big toes and into the outer edges of the feet. Breathe. Inhale, come back up. Exhale to center. Then interlock your hands behind your back. Draw the shoulder blades in towards one another. Taking a deep inhalation through the nose. And then exhale, begin to fold forward, keeping that navel tucked in, and then just come down halfway again. And as you come down halfway, I'd like to bring your arms up vertically as well. Keep drawing those shoulder blades in towards one another. So we're getting a nice heart opener here as well as a hip opener. And heart openers are great for receiving love, and it's really great to also have the head and the heart and the throat all in line as well. If you're interested in activating chakras, especially the third eye chakra, it's really important to have the head, the chest and the throat all in line. And then inhale, come back up to center. Exhale, release the arms for a moment. And if you need to rest your legs, just take a good bend in those late knees again. One at a time. Okay, and then again bringing your hands onto your hips, taking an inhalation through the nose, and then exhale, begin to forward fold. And I'd like to fold forward as far as you can, and then place your left hand in front of you on the mat. Okay, and then from here, taking an inhalation, raise the right arm up. Exhale, lower that right hand down, place it next to your left hand, then inhale, raise the left arm up, exhale, lower the left arm, inhale, raise the right arm, exhale, lower the right arm, inhale, raise the left arm, exhale, lower that left hand back down, then very gently take an inhalation, bring the hands onto the hips, inhale, come back up, center, exhale at center, then begin to toe heel the feet back in. Okay, balancing now on our feet, so moving into extended hand to big toe balancing pose. So begin by taking an inhalation and lifting your right knee up and taking hold of that right knee, and then really lengthening the spine, keeping your torso straight, and you can have your your left hand on your hip. Breathe. So this is option 1, you can stay here. Option 2, see if you can take hold of your right big toe, keep that torso straight, keep breathing. So you're either going to be here, or you're going to be here. Breathe. And then option 3, extend out that right leg. Breathe. Keep breathing. Option 4, see if you can bring that leg out to the side. So you're either going to bring your knee out to the side, or you're going to bring your leg extended out to the side. And see if you can bring your gaze over to your left. Keep breathing. And inhale, come back to center, either with the knee or the leg extend, and then just gently drop that right leg to the ground. And give that left leg just a little bit of a shake. Great. So you will find that one leg is going to be stronger than the other. My left side is
tends to be quite a bit weaker actually. So, okay. So really grinding down now through that right leg. Again, becoming aware of the padabandha, the ground to foot connection. Really grounding down through that foot, the big toes, the balls of the feet, the ball at the back of the foot, ball at the front foot, the outer edges of the feet. Bringing a nice little micro bend now into that leg, okay? Keeping the torso straight. So option 1, inhale, bring that, your left leg up, taking hold of the knee, breathe. Option 2, taking hold of the big toe. So from here you're either going to extend the leg out, or you're going to just have taken hold of your knee. And option 3, bringing that leg out to the side. Wherever you are, whatever option you've got, breathe. So wherever you are, breathe. And look over to the right hand side if you can, keep breathing. Inhale now, back to center. Exhale, drop that leg back down to the ground. And then just give your feet a little bit of a shake and come to resting in child's pose. Forehead on the ground, your arms at your sides, and just taking this moment just to observe the mind, the body and the breath. Just observing if the mind was saying anything about how you did that balancing pose. So for me, I tend to struggle most with my balancing postures, and that's to do with my posture generally, but some people may have a weakened area somewhere else. But again, it's not about sort of judging yourself too hardly. Judge yourself with love and kindness, and know that each time you practice, it gets a little bit easier. So again, it's just about making sure you understand that yoga is the journey, not the destination. It's really just about connecting the mind, the body and the breath in that moment here and now. Very gently inhale, come back up to center. Exhale to center. Coming into seated. So we're going to move into Janu Sirsasana. And in Janu Sirsasana, I'd like to stretch your left leg out straight, then bring your right foot just into the side of your left thigh, keeping your torso straight and taking a tiny little micro twist so that your torso is facing your left leg. I'd like you to actively engage that left leg too and flex that left foot towards you. Okay, then from here, taking an inhalation, raising the arms through in line with the ears. And exhale, I'd like to begin to fold forward, keeping that navel tucked in. And you can either just bring your hands to the sides of your calves, or you may wish to grab hold of your foot, sorry. Keeping that navel tucked in and try to keep the spine straight as well. So you're going to be feeling a nice sort of stretch in the hamstring here, in the calf, and you're working on sort of the spine as well, keeping that spine straight. Also actually working on the tops of our shoulders, so that'll be the deltoids too. Keep breathing. And then very gently inhale, come back up to center. Exhale, lower the arms back down. Stretching out the right leg now, flexing that foot, right foot. Then draw the left foot into the right thigh. And just making sure that both your sitting bones are sort of pressed into the ground as well. Taking a little micro twist so that your torso is in line with that right leg. Actively engage that right leg by flexing that right foot. Taking an inhalation, raising the arms. And exhale, begin to fold forward. Try to keep that spine straight as well, so you're not really rounding the back like so. Keep that spine straight. So you're either going to have your hands
just at the sides of your calves, or you're going to have taken hold of your right foot. Breathe. Keep breathing in and out through the nose, keeping that navel tucked in. And inhale, come back up to center. Exhale, lower the arms back down. And stretching out both legs now as far as is comfortable. Moving into Upavista Konasana. Then taking your hands behind you on the mat and really opening the chest now. And then see if you can externally rotate your hips as well. So externally rotate your thighs. So your thighs are moving externally out of the hip joints. Breathe. This is option 1, and option 2. I'd like to keep that navel tucked in and see if you can start to walk your hands forward and exhale. As you start to walk your hands forward, I don't want your feet to turn towards the ground. I want your feet to turn up, and I want your feet to turn your toes to, so basically you're continually externally rotating those legs. So exhale, bring the forearms to the ground. That's sort of the alternative option, otherwise you're going to be here. Keep breathing. And for those of you that practice a lot of yoga and want to go even deeper, just keep walking those arms forward and see if you can move towards bringing your forehead towards the ground. So you're getting a deep stretch in the hips here. And then very slowly inhale, come back up to center. Then draw the feet in towards one another, bringing the soles of the feet in, interlocking your hands around the foot, and then just begin by butterflying the legs, keeping your torso straight. So we've just moved into Baddha Konasana. Keep breathing. In and out through the nose. And from here, taking an inhalation, just tilt the head back a moment, and then exhale, forward fold. Try to keep the spine straight as well if you can. You might only just come to here, that's okay. Breathe. Inhale, come back up to center. Release the legs. And then from here, just come and rest in child's pose just for a moment. And from child's pose now, I'm going to move back up, take an inhalation. So come up to kneeling. And I want your legs to be hip distance apart. And you may want to use a block. You place the block in between your thighs. I like to squeeze that block. So moving into Ustrasana, which is camel pose. Now placing your hands on the small of your lower back. Begin by pushing your hips forward. Keep pushing the hips forward. Squeeze those glutes. And then I'd like you to start tilting your head back. So squeeze the glutes, and you're internally rotating those thighs as you squeeze the glutes. Then by squeezing the glutes and then internally rotating the thighs, take a deep inhalation. And on the exhalation, you're actually actively engaging the core. So as you push the hips forward, keep pushing the tops of the feet flat into the mat. You're sort of really back bending from the rib cage. Breathe. For those of you that are very flexible, you can tilt your head back even further. Very gently, then inhale, now come back to center. Very gently, then release. And then come back into child's pose, bringing the forehead to the mat. So if you found in that pose that you found a pinching in your spine, that means you've gone too far. So again, we're going to do one more, taking an inhalation, coming onto your knees. Keep pushing the flats, the tops of your feet flat into the mat. Okay. So pushing those hips forward, squeezing the glutes, squeezing those thighs. So you're internally rotating them by placing the block in between the legs. Keep pushing those thighs forward, those hips forward. And then see if you can backbone from the rib cage. Or gently tilting back. Breathe. Breathe. And then very gently inhale, come back to center. Exhale, come into a child's pose. And then from here, I'd like you to come into lying on your belly on the mat. Okay. Bringing your forehead onto the ground, bringing your arms out to the side. Moving into Salambhasana, locust pose. So from here, just basically bringing your legs, your feet out so they're as wide as the mat. Arms at your sides, palms are facing up. Taking an inhalation through the nose. Bring the forehead off the mat now. Lift the chest off the ground. And I'd like you to notice where you feel that in your body. And exhale, release the head back down to the ground. The next time we're going to inhale and raise the head, the chest and the arms. Take a deep inhalation. So as you raise the arms, really reach towards the back of the room. Really like you're grabbing for something. And exhale, release everything back down. And then on the next inhalation, we're going to raise the head, the arms, the shoulders, and the legs as well. Take an deep inhalation through the nose, raise the head, the chest, the shoulders, the arms, the hands, the legs. Breathe. Really squeezing those glutes now, so getting a full body stretch and strengthener here. Breathe, exhale, lower everything back down. And come to lying on your back. And from here, moving into Apanasana, drawing the knees in towards the chest. Gently rolling from side to side. And drawing the head towards the knees, taking an inhalation. Exhale, lower everything back down. One more time, inhale, bring the head towards the knees. Exhale, lower everything back down. And from here now, we're going to move back into our final pose of the class, Shavasana. So just drop everything down, let the feet flop out, bring your arms to your sides, have the palms facing up. And if it's comfortable for you to do so, gently close the eyes or just take a light gaze. And if you wish to grab a blanket as well, feel free to do so. So as we come into our final resting pose of the class, Shavasana, corpse pose, everything that we do in the asanas, the movement, is to lead us, to take us to relaxation and meditation. So again, just bring your awareness now again to the external sensations going on outside the body. So that'll be things like the smells, the temperature, the sounds. And how do you interact with those now compared to the start? And then bringing your awareness now into your body. And how does your body feel now compared to the start of the practice? So just taking this moment to scan from the head all the way down to the feet and the hands, all the way back up again, observing for any remaining tension. And if there is any remaining tension at all, I'd like you to take a deep inhalation through the nose And then exhale out the mouth. Deep inhalation through the nose. And exhale out the mouth. Deep inhalation through the nose. Then exhale out the mouth. So as you notice your body becoming more relaxed with the release of tension, you begin to notice the weight of your body against the ground. And as you notice the weight of your body against the ground, things like your head, the back, your buttocks, your legs, and your feet, you notice as if you're almost sinking into the ground, melting into the ground. And with all that sinking and that melting and that heaviness, you almost reach a point of lightness. So if your thoughts are starting to wander already, just come back to observing the weight of your body against the ground, but also just observing the natural rhythm of your breath, just breathing in and out naturally through the nose. And the breath is deep, smooth, and continuous. The body feels completely relaxed. The body feels rejuvenated. The body feels still. The mind feels still. The mind feels rejuvenated. The mind feels relaxed. If we can still our body, then we can still our minds. And in this moment of clarity, just bring yourselves back to those intentions you set at the start of the class. And in the theme of Easter, what things may you wish to renew? What things may rebirth in your life? Goals, ideas. Put complete trust in yourself. As you inhale, feel cool, rejuvenating energy circulate around the body to every cell. And then as you exhale, feel out any sort of as you exhale, feel any sort of remaining tension leave the body now. very slowly begin to wiggle fingers and toes. Maybe rotating the wrists, rotating the ankles, rolling your head from side to side, stretching the legs, stretching your arms, taking a full body stretch, then rolling over to the right hand side into a fetal recovery position, keeping the eyes closed, and then gently pushing into your left hand, coming up into a seated position, coming into Sukhasana, cross the legs, roll the shoulders back and down, keep the spine straight, gently tuck the chin in. And bring your hands together, rubbing the hands, feeling warmth, feeling energy. And place the hands over the face, feeling that warmth, feeling that energy. Gently open your eyes, gazing into the darkness, gazing into stillness, gazing into peace. Gently bring your hands to heart center. Just take this moment to feel, to observe. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed.